PPE. Look, there's not enough of it all across the country, but people are stepping up to take care of that. And we're going to dive into it right now with Rachel Sad, also known as Crafty, one of those individuals who is stepping up to the plate and helping out when it comes to PPE. You're an artist based in Oakland, California, also executive director, I see, of Ace Monster Toy Maker Space. It's called the Distill My Heart Project. Tell our viewers right now what this is all about here.
So it's all about getting masks to the most at-risk communities in order to really impact and lessen the second wave that's going to happen. We were lucky enough to be connected to a wonderful materials donation by the folks at Maker Mask. They connected with the folks at the American Distilling Institute out of Hayward, local, and Mother Murphy's to access the bags that were going to be used at a conference that obviously got canceled that make excellent masks. And they dropped a giant pallet of masks on us, 1,800 pieces. At minimum, our goal is to make 1,700 masks. Though we found out that we can get two masks per bag, we can, and two masks per bag is a nice output.
Did you set a date? Did you set a date, Crafty, for that, for those 1,700?
Absolutely. We want to achieve the first 1,700 in 17 days. The clock has already started ticking. We have 500 out the door. We've ramped up really hard with SOS Kiss. And if we can get the resources both to pay people and get the volunteers, we can get 1,700 masks out to at-risk people by the 30th.
And when you say at-risk people, I mean, you have a specific targeted individual who you want to have this mask moving forward.
Absolutely. We're looking for the most vulnerable people in our community that are unlikely to have the resources to get masks or even hand washing facilities. So we're targeting folks who serve the homeless, folks in skilled nursing facilities, employees, residents of those elderly care facilities, wonderful folks like the people at Berkeley Free Clinic and Punks with Lunch, and also the people that are keeping us all functioning, the delivery people, the clerks at the grocery store, because they're the most exposed and the least resourced.
Look, I always like to say there's a story behind a story, Crafty. So the follow-up question is here, kind of a side question, but why? Why is it that you wanted to dive into this?
Well, like many folks, as an Oakland artist who does interactive public art, I found myself with a lot of time on my hands. Mm-hmm. I have these excellent resources in community via Ace Monster Toys, all Bay Area PPE, all this great community, and I'm not one to sit on my hands. Do something about it. You don't need permission to help. Just help.
Yeah. So when it comes to assembly, can you get more specific again about how you're making it and these kits are coming together?
We have two safer workspaces set up here and with our partners at Circuit Launch. They're a hardware technology focused space down by the airport. So we're doing this in two locations primarily. Mm-hmm. And we break down the bags and we break down the t-shirts that have been donated by great folks like Art and Soul and the Bay Area Book Festival and things that aren't going to be used from events. And once we break down those materials, they go to the fabricators and the laser cutters. And we laser cut out the pattern pieces. We put them into kits, and those go to sewists, both contracted sewists and volunteers. They make them into masks. They come back to our facilities, our two facilities, and they get packaged with dual language packaging and use instructions in a safer area, and then out they go. And we're not waiting until we have 1,700 done. We distribute as soon as things are ready to go and sanitized.
So you've already sent them out the door? Where have they gone?
They've gone to the San Francisco Homeless Healthcare Shelter. They've gone to Punks with Lunch. They've gone to Berkeley Free Clinic. They've gone to the folks at toolworks.org who provide in-home healthcare. They've gone to a couple of nursing homes. Like I've lost track of all the folks. The Community Foods Market in West Oakland, and more will go out today.
So are you able to see the reaction of these individuals? I don't know if you're part of the delivery process, but I mean, to me, that's kind of makes it all worth it when you see the reaction, or have you heard about the reaction of these individuals, these groups receiving these masks?
I've heard via my delivery people. that folks are really grateful and stressed, and that's all well and good, but we're not in it for their gratitude. We're in it to get people the protection that they need. Unfortunately, I myself have damaged lungs from having the flu last year, and I cannot do any highly exposed work.
Got it. You're in California. I know your governor, Gavin Newsom, has encouraged people who are just hanging out at home to volunteer to help. I mean, it could be just knocking on your neighbor's doors, if they need groceries, especially if that individual is a senior citizen, maybe someone who doesn't have a vehicle. When it comes to volunteers, I don't know if they're lining up to help you, but could you kind of give a state of the union in regards to how important volunteers are right now, specifically for your project?
Specifically for my project, volunteers are extremely important. The effective use of getting this PPE out to folks immediately is urgent. We want to avoid a sharp second wave, and without volunteerism, it's just not going to happen. And we have opportunities both for people to sew, to be able to work in safer, separated workrooms at our 2 locations, or be able to do things digitally online to help get the word out or coordinate things like delivery.
Mm-hmm. See, I was reading something that maybe you saw this happening elsewhere, in another state at all. Is that true?
That's absolutely true. I had been doing various mask making things, and so I'm a creature of these ages. I Googled it. I got on Facebook groups. I was involved in a lot of things via Nation of Makers, and I found this project called Orlando Face Mask Strong. And I looked at how they were doing their distribution and their mask creation and their materials acquisition, and I was really impressed. And I looked at that and I'm like, that's a model, and we can take that model and put a Bay Area spin on this and do a lot of good really quick.
Yeah. And maybe someone watching this in another part of the country is saying, hey, if Crafty can do it, I'm going to do it too. So I hope that happens, actually. When it comes to funding, I know you have a GoFundMe page, and I want to let our viewers know about it because obviously you can't do it yourself. Where can they find that, or is there a specific, what do they search for?
They search for Distill My Heart on the GoFundMe or on the charity GoFundMe. The project is Distill My Heart, 1,700 masks in 17 days. Ambitious, but we're going there. We've just made our halfway point for funding this morning, which is incredibly exciting. I was like, woo, halfway point. And we're looking to really push this, because one aspect of this project isn't just volunteering and providing PPE, but also providing opportunities for folks who are currently out of work due to the pandemic to have some temp work. Because, people's effort is absolutely valued. And if we can raise the funds, we should get these folks some grocery money and some rent.
Yeah. What have you learned about this whole process? I mean, what if you had to pick one thing that's been kind of eye-opening for you?
Attitude is everything is what I've learned. You can get materials, you can even get volunteers, but what's going to keep it going, keep it positive, and keep the real outcomes going is keeping a positive attitude, keeping the humor in it, and not losing yourself in the insurmountable need.
Yeah.
Do the good you can, even if you can't fix the problem.
Great piece of advice right there. Rachel said, AKA Crafty, doing what you can to help out. And thank you for doing that. I think it's amazing. And again, I hope you can get more volunteers and, of course, more people to go to that GoFundMe page to keep you going. Keep charging, stay safe, and thanks for taking the time.
Thank you so much.